Hi guys, this is Tony here from Metal Roos. You're about to sit down and enjoy an interview I just did um, over there. And so do like and subscribe so you can get all this straight into your streaming and into your consciousness as soon as it arrives. So enjoy the interview, and I will. Over to you, Tony. Well, thanks for coming on chatting with us, Brendan. It's really nice to chat to someone who's making waves in the music industry in Australia, mate. It's good to talk to people, putting effort into bringing live music to the country.
Oh, thanks for having us. I'm sorry Adam couldn't be here tonight, but
No.
I've got the whole lineup down pat. I'm here to answer any questions you have.
Brilliant, brilliant, mate. Well, look, the thing is, what obviously we want to ask is, and because obviously you're the co go away, people. You're the co-producer of, sorry, co-founder of the Cold Day Festival in Brisbane. Uh, it's what, 3 years now? This is your third one?
Yes, this will be the third one.
Oh
First one
yeah.
was 2023. Um, yeah.
And what brought you to bringing this festival together?
Um, I had been putting on local shows and booking tours for my own bands for a long time, and Adam runs a label called Team Glasses. He puts out a lot of punk and hardcore records in Queensland and actually all around the country. He supports
Mm.
bands from just about every state now that I think about it. Um, and he'd been putting on shows around Brisbane, and we realized there wasn't like a big event that we would see other cities have. Um, uh, I know Back on the Map was a big one for Sydney, and there just seemed to be cool death metal festivals and hardcore fests happening in other cities that we felt like Brisbane was missing out, and there was a lot of bands we wanted to see come play in Brisbane that didn't quite have enough of a following yet that they could do it viably, and
Ah,
we'd be able to
yes.
set them up in a medium-sized venue and make it worthwhile. So this is kind of an opportunity for us to be able to showcase bands that we think are really sick, not take a massive risk on like um, you know having little shows on tours flop. Just throw everything together as one and try and unite. I guess like punk, hardcore, and death metal are sort of the three prongs that we try to include, and then make the most out of it by having enough people to fill a big room, and then you get to see your favorite band on a big wide stage with the best sound in Brisbane and a beautiful beer garden you can go catch up with all your friends in. And yeah, it's an awesome venue. And while I have the chance, I'll mention that the venue is actually really supportive too. So
Good.
they help us get sponsors for the riders and stuff like that, and they've been encouraging every year for us to come back, and they want to see it grow. So there's that as well. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Because I keep saying that this, the Australian scene in punk, hardcore, and in all forms of metal is so strong at the moment. There's so much going on. Unlike Europe, it's such a big country. Getting that band from, say, Perth to get any kind of heat is tricky, right? Because they've got to come over to this side of the country or up to your part to gain an audience. And it's really good that people like yourself uh, are willing to take them on and bring them into those smaller venues to give them much more eyes on them and ears on them, to be honest.
Are you from Western Australia? Is that
I'm
where
from
you're at?
Canberra, actually. I'm in Canberra. Mm, mm.
No, we tried for a couple of West Australian bands this year. It didn't quite work out, but I completely understand that predicament being over there as well. Um, Even for us, for my bands going over to Perth to play, it almost needs to be in route with part of a tour just to fly over there and come back. The flights are so expensive; it's really hard to make the whole thing work viably when it's not a massive band, just a medium-sized one. So something like Cold Day is almost not 100%, but we're going to keep doing it. So like it's pretty reliable. It's going to be in winter, and a band can almost like tee it up where they could say, all right, we can start planning a tour. And if we're playing Cold Day already, that's a great point to jump off from.
Oh,
So
brilliant. I
yeah,
mean, and have you thought about international acts as well? Is that something
yeah.
that may
Well,
have come on your radar?
up until just the other week, Ingested was meant to be playing.
That's
They were from
correct.
Britain, and yeah, that was our goal for this year to expand and book an international headliner. Um, Obviously, things beyond our control. Things happen. Everyone's human.
Mm.
Um, People in bands are human beings. Not everyone's perfect. So for whatever reason, the tour's not going ahead. But we've got some of our favorite Australian bands playing in their place now, like Disentomb.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal world class band in their own right, and they just happen to be from our home state. So we're really blessed to have them come and fill the
Mm.
spot. And also Extortion. They happen to be gig fit because of other shows with Iron Lung. And their bass player was already going to be in Brisbane with his other band, I Exist. So thankfully, they took the call and accepted at very short notice to come and fill in a spot there too. So hopefully, everyone's stoked and they don't decide it's not worth coming anymore. That was our sort of thing, was like, no, we need to fill this position and make sure that it's going to be a stellar day just so that it's all justified.
Do you know what I think you have? I mean, I interviewed the band before, and they were really keen to be at your festival, and things do happen. But it's really good that you can fill spots with world-class band. I mean, Disentombed is like crazy great band. I mean, I'm not wearing the shirts; they've got loads of their shirts. I've listened to them for ages, and and I Exist. I mean, they went away for a while, and they came back, and they've had some ups and downs. It's really good that they jumped in. I think it's the second year in a row for them. For I Exist, is it, or is it
Almost.
Overcame?
Aaron Osborne's other project, Aglo, played
Ah,
last year.
no, that's
Yeah.
it. Okay, I thought I knew there was a connection, but I was like, where is the connection?
And that's sort of why we're excited to bring I Exist back, because people are aware, I think, of the other members from that band and their new projects and stuff like that. So having I Exist come back, it just felt right to do that at the moment. And
Yeah. When you've got a festival that mixes genres like that, punk, hardcore, and death metal, which is, I can see the connection, but some people would go, what? Do you find people who are watching the punk bands then stay to watch, like they're there for the death metal stuff as well? Or do they sort of filter away and go to the beer gardens and
there's no one answer for each group, and
yeah.
everyone's an individual. But I am noticing a trend more and more now that people are willing to listen to a much wider variety. They're not so fanatical about one subgenre per se. Um, One thing I did notice in the first year was it was interesting to me that the hardcore, maybe more punk aligned people weren't really, maybe some of the death metal was too much for them. Just
Maybe.
but but it just was too much for them yet. So like
Yes.
couple of years later, it might be right up their alley. So I think that point is getting across, and people are willing to be exposed to something unique a little bit more at this point, especially younger people. I record bands, and I'm always
Yeah.
talking to. I love asking people what they're listening to, and it like will blow me away that people are listening to records from very niche subgenres from well before they were even born, because they know
Yeah.
it's important to research and understand where all the bands they're listening to now have it coming from.
I love that, mate. That is the beating heart of what is keeps me alive in music is that people can go there and go, okay, I can do this 3 minute punk song that's going to make me just bounce around, but then I can also crush my skull in this, 6 minute death metal mayhem, because it's all music under the same skin, isn't it? It's all music under the skin, and it's just how we interpret it. And I love the fact that you do that. I mean, I was looking at your lineup for this. I mean, it's a big lineup. You've got,
Yeah,
mate,
yeah.
it's for one day. I mean, how are you squeezing this in? I mean,
Um,
just
each band
crazy.
we, we we do have a lot of subgenres, but I have the sort of keep it in the vision of a hardcore festival where
Yeah.
it's sort of like bang 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 20-minute sets all day,
Oh, I
and
see. So yes, right, short and sharp. Right.
yeah,
Okay.
everyone gets like equal 20 minutes to blow you away, and then the next one is on. So um, we're pretty tight with our whole set day. It's really tight actually, but but I think it makes for a good day because it never gets too boring. There's always another one coming just around the corner, and it's not too long to go chat to your mate and then turn around and realize the next one's already sound checking. So
I'd probably be stuck at the front and wouldn't leave for 12 hours. That's the truth. I'm like, I'm dehydrated, but I don't want to lose my spot. So you got so tickets are available through Mosh Tix, so the usual outlets. It's in on the 27th of July. Am I correct at that?
uh, 26th.
26th, sorry, 26th of July.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
read my handwriting. 26th of July. So and it's the Triffid.
yeah. So um,
It's a
it's
great
in New.
venue.
Yeah, it's sort of I'd say it's my favorite sounding venue in Brisbane. Anytime I've ever been
Oh,
there to see like death metal bands and stuff like that, it's just got a little bit more clarity, and so the details within obviously that style of music come through a lot more, and just there's a bit more ambience behind things, and I think it's really good. It'll do a death metal band justice rather than a difficult room to make the low end come through and stuff like that. It's yeah,
yeah,
makes
because
for
yeah, because I've heard bands tell me lots of times they've loved playing there. International acts that come and they play the Triffid, they go, "We've really enjoyed playing there." Like you don't get someone coming in, "No, no, I'm not sure." They always go, "Yeah, that was fucking. The sound was good and the audience was good."
beautiful.
And I think that's. I mean, are you finding? Obviously, you could see your ticket sales. Are you getting people coming from far away to the shows?
Yeah, a lot of people come from North Queensland, will come down to Brisbane. Um, Obviously, a lot of people travel from the Gold Coast and stuff like that. I do know of a handful of people who've flown to Brisbane just to be there for the festival.
Brilliant.
But I think it might be in years to come when we grow to a level where we've got international acts and it's a Brisbane exclusive thing that it might become more of a travel destination type of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, small things have to, you can't start instantly, not all sound waves straight away, right? You have to begin somewhere. And I think the underground scene in this country is, I mean, it's immense. And it's something that I think is the envy of the world, I think. And to have that we can have that focused for just even one day with the acts that you've got there. I was looking at the I Exist and extortion and disentombed and things like gutless and shackle. I mean, it's just like it's a real mishmash of styles that just makes people smile, man. Like I think it's well worth the dollars and they're not expensive tickets either, which is another thing.
Yeah,
Not
that's something that's a conscious decision. We really want to keep it as low as possible because I yeah, I've almost given up going to the bigger festivals now because it's impossible to pay the rent. It's just like there's so
No,
much going.
it
There's
is.
tours all the time, and if you want to go see all your favorite bands, it adds up. So
It does. And I think also, yeah, sorry, Karen.
no, no, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say we totally understand that, and like uh, we haven't really made any money ourselves from it yet. It's a lot of work, and we know that it's like something that's it's going to turn out better if we treat it as a passion project. If we make decisions based on making money, then that's going to be reflected. And ultimately, I wouldn't put on a festival that I wouldn't buy a ticket to myself. So I guess that's the common thread between all the bands as well, is that they're stuff that I like, stuff that Adam likes, and that's the value right there.
I mean, end of the day, you want to see them, don't you? I mean, you'd want to see them. You as a fan want to see the bands. And I generally I think that I'm in two camps there, mate. I think that we don't charge enough because I understand what goes behind it, but I also understand that people won't pay it because so I mean it swings and roundabouts. I think I've been to shows where there's six bands and I've paid $25 and you go, what the hell?
Yeah,
And what's going on? Like,
we do
surely
have
it
a
should
lot
be
of
five times that.
yeah. Now we do have a lot of bands flying in from interstate, and it's sort of it's unfortunate that sometimes the local bands won't get paid as much so that we can make sure that the traveling bands are covering their costs. But I think I understand that and it's okay. Um, yeah, ultimately we'd rather make sure all the bands get paid before we take a single cent.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the way to do it.
And that's why
Just
you'll
like
be successful, mate. That's why you'll be successful.
I hope
Because
so, yeah.
because you love clearly from this conversation, it's the first time I've met you, but clearly you love music, you love your fan base, you love your audience, and you love what you do. And I think that's when it becomes a corporate dollar for dollar thing. Don't get me wrong. I'd love you to be a millionaire, man. Don't get me wrong. I'd love you to be able to make this a huge success. Of course, we
Let's
want
be
you to
honest,
be the
though. If
case.
I wanted
Yeah,
to
of
make money,
course,
if I
man.
wanted
Let's
to
honest. Let's be honest.
make,
But at the end of the day, you don't start off doing that. You have to grow it. And the bands that you put on are all just. I mean, there's some of them are international quality, like as we said, Disentombed. Right? You think they could be playing Wacken quite comfortably,
absolutely.
and the fact that they come and join a festival like yours up there in Queensland when it's freezing down here, a nice little bit warmer up there. Which is always I find that quite chuckly. I mean, I saw it said Cold Day Festival. You have no idea.
Yeah, no, that's the irony of the whole thing. It's the one cold day in Brisbane.
One cold day, one cloud comes across. Like,
Yeah.
oh dear, dear. So obviously, it takes a long time to plan this. I mean, how many months in advance do you have to work to plan this festival?
Um, or no, I wouldn't say as soon as the previous one finishes, but as soon as bands are ready to put it in their calendar, essentially, which is usually a bit before Christmas, they can see the next 6 months ahead. But some bands will very definitively go, no, we're going to be overseas at this point, and we're going to be recording at this point. So that's it. Seems like it'd be rude to pester people for longer than that. I think.
Fair enough. And also setting up the lineup, the set, that must be a tough one because who goes on first? And then, where do we, the balance, the flow, and then, if we put that one there, is that gonna, they're a doom band, would that be slew? You've got to sort of work out where everyone sits, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot of thought goes into that, and also being able to predict 6 months in the future what bands are going to be where
Oh.
in their journey, and who's going to be red hot and all that sort of thing, who's got records coming out. So a lot of thought goes into the whole planning of the day. The way I look at it is similar to writing an album, where it's got to be a cohesive journey from start to finish, almost like not like a movie, but it needs to be able to set a pace where you're not getting burnt out by the first three bands and feel like you need a break.
Oh, I love it. Yes, absolutely. I've been to festivals where they have not thought it out, and you are knackered within three bands, and you're just like, gotta go and lie down for. I used to go to Donington a lot, and that was always the case, man. I would be like, oh, I'm done. My neck's buggered, and I've only three albums, three bands in. So yeah, it's good that, like you said, I love the flow thing. That's so. I don't think people who go to festivals think this through. I think they buy the ticket, turn up, and just go, okay, next is this is this is this. But if they thought about the journey that the holders are taking you on, they might enjoy the day a bit more differently. Maybe might see it a different way.
Yeah, little things I've learned over the years. Like I think generally people um, may just expect to see a list of bands from mathematically based on their followers, least to most popular, or
Mm,
least to most listens, or some type of statistic like that. But
mm.
I think it's important to not put super similar bands right next to each other. It's too easy for someone to enjoy one and then not enjoy the other one because the other band did it first, or for whatever reason, there might be a minute detail. I don't think it's fair to just have bands comparable one after the other like that. Um, and also, if you've just heard two death metal bands in the row, the third one might not feel all that heavy. It might not hit the same.
Exactly. You might just be burnt out, like you said. You want to go for a bit of hardcore or some punk or something a little bit lighter, maybe a different energy, a different form of energy, which is often needed. That's what's great thing about big festivals, isn't it? You can walk around and get different energies all the time. And if you're in a small festival in one space, you've got to try and create that feeling of wandering around from stage to stage,
Yeah.
haven't you?
Uh,
So
One unique thing about our festival is that it only has one stage.
cool. Okay.
We attended a festival. My band played one in Adelaide a few years ago, and it had two stages back to back, or facing each other. And so as soon as one band finished, the next one would be
Just
starting.
turn around.
Yeah, which is good in theory, but if you love every band on the bill and you want to see every band on the bill, you sort of have to sacrifice one of them to go find an opportunity to go and eat, or to
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
catch up with your friend, or like to go make a call back home or something like that. So it was almost so jam packed that it fatigued us instantly.
Oh, really?
Band, we were like, I loved, like, the lineup was great. I can't remember the name of the fest, sorry, but it
Mm.
was, Eloquest, Disentomb, a bunch of our friends' bands that were playing. That's where I first saw Putrescent Seepage, which is
Oh, a brilliant band. Yeah.
yeah. But
And it-
ultimately, it was too much. So the 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, back and forth. It sounds like a lot.
Uh,
Over the course of the day, it sort of it gives you a chance to breathe, gives you a chance to digest the set that you've just watched, get a little excited for the next one, and hopefully not burn out so quickly.
yeah, go a bit of buy a bit of merch. All of a sudden, I like them. I might go and buy a shirt.
Yeah,
Off you go, chat with the band because they're probably going to walk around afterwards a bit as well. I mean it's what makes our music so good, Brendan, is that none of us are all superstars. You know what I mean? Like people come off the stage and they mingle and they talk and they interact with their audience, which just reminds me of when I was a teenager, in London in the like late 70s, early 80s. There was a lot of that going on, and it's nice that here you get that kind of, I don't know, sticky floor vibe, dark basement rock and roll feel, which um, I think the world has lost, Brendan, in a lot of these big festivals, a lot of this big production. It's just a show. I think music
yeah,
is secondary a
yeah.
lot of time.
Gotta you've got to like wait on your laptop to be the first to buy the ticket, and then you have to
Oh,
have a token to get a drink, and you're
mm,
using portaloos that don't really get looked after and that type of thing.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I completely get it.
I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Wacken and Hellfest and Download, all wonderful experiences. Absolutely, you've all got to do it. But if you would ask me, genuinely, if you would ask me which one I'd want, I'd be at your one, and I mean that sincerely because because you feel part of the family. It's part of a community spirit that you get there. It's not just a bucket list tick
Yeah,
that you get with the big festivals. It's like we could go to one of yours. You come out at the end of it and you've learned something because you might see bands like I don't know Bloodmouth, right? But I might go and see him go, geez, wow, amazing. I have to get onto this, And I think that's another beautiful thing about experiences like your brilliant festival that's coming up, is that you give everyone a little bit of a taster, a little bit of a taster of everything.
yeah. That's totally what we're looking for, and I I would almost love for it to become something where the lineup becomes secondary and the community does build to become,
Yeah.
you know, this once a year gathering that is sort of looked forward to. Um, but we'll get there, I
Of
think.
course you will, man. Absolutely. There'll be a future where people will have, cold day badges. Well, oh yeah, I was at one, I was at two, I was at three, I was at four. Like they'll get that kind of passport stamp mentality, which a lot of people do. And I think that it's certainly, I would love it if you could bring it other parts of the country, personally. But it's Brisbane as it is in Brisbane. That's fine. That's where you are. But, I
That's
would just need some more people like you around the country doing more of a similar thing,
yeah, yeah.
linking
I
linking
mean,
up.
not ruling anything out at this point.
No, you can never know, can you? The future, you never know what happens tomorrow, right? You never know what
Yeah.
happens tomorrow. So, are you? Is your band playing on the lineup this year?
Yes, that with everything there must come a certain amount of nepotism.
Come on,
Um,
do it. Be nepotistic. Guess it.
my band's called Crossface. We're playing a little bit earlier in the afternoon, but we've just put out a new record on the 20th of April this year. It's self-titled, and it's just 11 songs that we have a lot of fun playing, and it's all the favorite sort of things that hardcore does that we enjoy. And yeah,
Oh, brilliant. Well, I will look out for that. I will look out for that. Again, that was I had that on the list here, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah, and there's all these bands I'm looking at, going, trying to get my head around all these. I know I exist. I know, Shackles. I know Gutless. I'm like, well, okay, Crossface. Okay, there you go. So I'll look that up. I'll hook it
yeah,
up
no,
into my headphones tomorrow. So that'd be cool. And of course that must be fun for you because then you get a bit of relief because you can just get on and be yourself, play on stage for not worry about numbers, door numbers, bouncers, people coming on the right time, people coming off the right time. You just go on and enjoy yourself for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I actually find playing a set in the middle of the day is the funnest part by far because I get to check out from all other responsibilities and just play my guitar for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you know what? I don't blame you. It's like it's a. Is it Brendan having a break? No, he's on stage. Oh, he's having a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And ticket numbers going well at the moment.
Yep, yep. It's looking very good. The attendance is always just up in the air. It's one of those things where I feel, I mean, like everything, I'm sort of going, I hope people come, but then they always do in the end. So yeah,
And will there be tickets on the door if need be
absolutely.
for
Yep.
late arrivals? Good. So you can buy in advance at Mosh Tix, and you can
Yep.
walk in up at the door. But you save money if you buy it in advance. Is that right? It's cheaper in advance than on the door.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. That makes more sense. I think then people who are watching this should go and buy a bloody ticket.
A
If you're in,
quick note
yep.
I was going for anyone that was disappointed and they do want a refund, you
Oh,
can contact Moshtix, and for the next 14 days they'll give you a refund. No questions, it's fine. But do that as soon as you can if you are looking for a refund.
yeah, good.
After that, too bad you have to come and have a good time. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Listen, though, I mean, it is a disappointing, yes, because it's your first year that you wanted an international act, and they are an amazing band, and I know that that was going to be a draw card for you. But you know what? It's so much on there. Like there's so much on this lineup that you're not going to miss it. You'll be disappointed if you're a big fan, but I don't think you're going to make any. I'd still say don't refund it and turn up. That's what I'm saying. Turn up.
yeah.
Represent people, because
I,
just the fact that you've managed to find someone to jump in of that quality says it all, Brendan. It says that people must love coming and performing at your festival because it's easy for them to say, "Nah, I'm busy.
yeah.
Nah, I got something on." But the fact they went, "Oh yeah, no, we'll be there," it's it's top notch. But yeah,
No,
I
we're
get, yeah. I hope that you don't have to refund any. Let's just say that.
no. Anyone who's an adjusted fan, I would say come and watch Disentomb because you'll probably love them too.
Oh man, if they're Injustice fans, they will know Disentombed. I would imagine.
So
I would
yeah,
hope so, because they make some of the best noise in the country for their level. I saw them here in Canberra at the Canberra Metal Fest for the first time a few years ago, and it was like wow, what's this? You don't expect it that kind of quality from. I don't know, disrespectful from just a small band. I didn't never hadn't heard of them.
yeah. No,
And,
they genuinely are like head and shoulders above. Like I consider them, to me, they're the best band in Australia, and
oh, close
they're
to
a band,
it. Yeah.
watching them live. You can sort of focus in on any individual member, and they're an absolute weapon at their craft. They are just entertaining as individuals, and then the whole thing is yeah, it's immense.
I must admit, as a bass player, I spent most of my time in front of watching him play bass. So yes,
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I wish I could do that. I can't do that.
it's like seeing what's actually possible.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's like, oh, I love that. But that's what I love about smaller venues is that you can, if you're nerdy like us with instruments, you can stand there for and sort of watch someone go, oh, that's how he's doing it. How's he doing it? Like, just go into your little nerdy space.
Get nice and
Yeah, which is nothing wrong with that. I think that's perfectly fine to do that, to go in there and go, God, look at that. How is he getting that?
yeah,
Like getting there. But you can't do that in huge venues. You can't do that at 80,000 stadiums. You just can't do it. You big
yeah,
screen, but you're under the control of whatever the cameraman wants to show you.
yeah, totally.
Which is what makes these little venues, what makes what you do brilliant, Brendan. I'm really thankful that you are. I really hope that it's a smash out for you and we get another one next year, rough, fast on its tails. I hope so.
Yeah, I think if we nail the third one, that's enough proof to me that it's
Oh,
worthwhile continuing.
mate.
Is a good. It's
Yep.
hard to build statistics only having two to look back on,
Yep.
but three I think yeah,
Well,
we'll
it's like the tricky third album, isn't it? It's like the tricky third album, yeah. Like we've all
yep.
you've run out of
I know.
ideas now. You've got to try and write something.
Yeah, I know all about that challenge.
Yeah, don't we all? All right. Well, thanks for coming and chatting, Brendan. I really appreciate your time. This will go out soon, and hopefully we get some more feet on the ground into your venue and more ears and eyes on the bands. And I hope that your set goes smashingly well as well. I'm sure it will.
Thank you, mate. Do you mind if I just mention a couple
Cool.
other shows
Yeah.
that are happening this?
Yes. Please do.
Um, Iron Lung, Faceless Burial, Shackles, and Resin Tomb are playing at Crowbar in Brisbane on the 11th of July. Um, that's a Friday night. It's going to be an incredible show. Um, there's a show in Sydney the night before Cold Day, so the 25th of July.
Yeah.
Uh, that's an insane lineup as well. Scorn, Potion, Alga Mortis, and a couple of others. It's a mixed bill as well. So I was really happy to see that they almost sort of kept our theme going of the
Brilliant.
mixed bill. Um, and the day after Cold Day, there's a show for anyone in northern Queensland or Sunshine Coast area. There's a show at the Nambour Black Box Theatre,
Yeah.
and some really good Queensland hardcore bands all getting together. Cold Blood, Wet Work, and a few other familiar faces. So
Oh, brilliant. So the scene is alive and well, my friend, and
absolutely,
you're stoking the fires, and I love it. It's brilliant. Well, I hope that people go to all those venues. I wish I was that side of the country. It'd be fantastic. I'd probably be broke. Oh dear. Again, good luck with it all, and I really hope that that you go as big as you can be, because clearly you have a passion and love for it, and it shows. And I'm really, really impressed by that, all that. So, and also secretly admiring your Marshall stack at the back.
no, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate you supporting the fest and everything.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure, and yeah, like I said, hopefully I might make it up there one year. You never know, right? You never
Yeah,
know.
please do. Love to do it.
Definitely. Cheers, man. Bye
Thank
for
you.
now.